You are watching KUTV Primetime News with Mutegi K. Martin. Welcome back. You're watching KUTV Primetime News tonight, and as I promised you before, tonight we're talking about the potential of our youth, and that is in line with what is happening in our country and beyond, where young people have been asking questions. What can we do to make our lives better? Parents asking questions. What do we need to do to make sure that our children follow the right path and become successful in the same? And of course, I'm joined now by Samuel Mwinamo Asena, who is the founder and MD of Optimize Institute. This is an institution that helps people to become who they really ought to be, and of course training people and consulting in the area of the young people and their lives and how they're supposed to become and make the most of who they are, also called optimal living. He's also working with Crossroads Virtual Summit, one of the events that is being organized. He's going to be letting us understand what that is towards the end of our conversation. He'll also be talking about Unleash Hour, which is a weekly program to understand how young people can continue being equipped and impacted in this time as far as getting into the future is concerned. Karibu sana. Now tell us, what is optimal living?
So optimal living is about making the most of who you are and what you have, living your life in a manner that reflects you having made the most of everything that you have at your disposal. It comes from the word optimization, and to optimize means to put to the best use possible. So when we talk about optimal living, we are talking about an individual choosing to make the most of everything that they have, choosing to make the most of who they are. So it entails understanding who you are and what you have, and being able to develop that particular understanding and put it to use in your day-to-day life. So we talk about you living optimally when you're at a point where you have done what I call the 3Ds. One is discover yourself. That is where you get to understand who you are and what you have. Then the second D is develop yourself. So we are looking at you have this talent that is raw, for example, and you go to school, you practice, and you add a lot of other knowledge around the talent that enables you to put this talent to the best use. And finally, we talk about deploying or deployment. So discovery, development, and then deployment. Deployment is when you're able to take what you have and now put it to use. So if your talent is in acting, for example, you're able to go out there and act in a play, in a movie, in a series, whatever it is. Yeah, you are now deploying. Yes.
And as we continue to talk about the opportunities that can actually come across the young people, what are the opportunities really that are available for these young people?
Opportunities are available everywhere. Opportunities are available around you. Opportunities are available online. Opportunities are available in your neighborhood. So it's not so much about the availability of opportunities, but your ability to identify and take advantage of those opportunities. So there's opportunities for young people, and especially many young people are struggling in a financial or economic sense, and they are sitting there in that jobless corner and asking themselves, what's out there for us? We talk about the older generation having snapped up everything and left us with nothing. But the truth of the matter is that if you open your eyes and you look around, keenly, you will find a lot of opportunities available for you to make a difference in your own economic situation. Whether you're thinking from an academic perspective, from an entrepreneurial perspective, or from a talent perspective, there are opportunities. There are opportunities available for you to go out there and make something of yourself. I'll mention something that we all need to know as young people. I don't know how many are familiar with the AGPO initiative by the national government. So the AGPO initiative, AGPO is an acronym for Access to Government Procurement Opportunities. That is just an example of something that is available for young people. Of course, it's youth, women, and people with disabilities. But how many young people are taking advantage of opportunities like that? Many are actually living in a place where they don't even know that such opportunities exist. So the first thing is for you to be proactive in seeking knowledge. Seek to understand your environment, the environment in which you live, the environment in which you operate. Nowadays, it is possible for you to be here in Nairobi and you are working for a company in California. Because the advancement of technology and the ability of people to work remotely means that people are able to work from anywhere and basically live anywhere. There are people who have designated themselves location independent. What that means is that this person does not need to live in a particular city in order for them to do their work. They can do their work on the go from wherever they are, because the opportunities are there and they are available. So it's about you as a young person asking yourself, where do I turn? Where are these opportunities? So I've spoken about AGPO. There are companies that are hiring virtual assistants. So you are here in Nairobi and there's a company in the UK, for example, and they need somebody to the CEO needs somebody to run their affairs as a virtual assistant. You can be able to do that from the comfort of your own house. You don't even need to go out of your house, and you're earning very good money doing that. There are opportunities for people who are into art and creativity, voiceover opportunities. On a global scale, we are not talking just about what you do here in Kenya or in Nairobi. Many times people are complaining that, the agencies are not picking me up. I'm not finding an opportunity. I have this ability, but it's not really getting me anywhere. The thing is, what you need to ask yourself is, beyond what you have tried here locally and it's not working, what is out there that you can take advantage of? Yeah.
And I'm glad you're talking about talent, and that brings us to my next question. In terms of talent, we have seen in other countries, especially the countries that have really progressed in terms of looking at what their children can be able to do from when they're very young, talents are being appreciated in a big way. And we have seen in the country also now the parents are embracing talents in their children. How far are we as a country, and how can we be able to make really sure that our young people in these particular age brackets, and even other younger people, and even maybe some of them who are past 25 years, even to make sure that they can be able to tap into their talents and make livelihoods out of the same?
I would like to say that we are doing far much better than we were doing a few years ago. There was a time when the thinking of many parents was that, unless you're a teacher, a nurse, a doctor, an engineer, there were certain professions which were considered sure bets. So every parent wanted their child to pursue a career in those kinds of professions. But it has become very clear that even those professions which were once lucrative, today you look at the whole conversation and you realize that partly due to saturation and all that, they are no longer as attractive as they used to be. Growing up, we never saw doctors rising up in arms to protest and to ask for a salary increment and all that. So that tells you that something has changed. It's no longer what it used to be. And that realization has made many parents become more open to the idea that some of us operate better in the talent category and creativity and all that. So I can say that we have moved and made significant progress with regard to embracing talent as an alternative path to livelihood. Before, in the years that are gone by, you telling somebody you are pursuing a career as a DJ would be something to be laughed at, because the image that people had of a DJ and what we know today are totally different. What we want to say, however, is that there's still a lot of room for us to do better with regard to talent. Parents need to come to the realization that talent is not just something else on the side. Talent could actually be the main thing in your child's life. What we need to understand is that we have different types of competencies and intelligences, and academic intelligence is just one of them. So if I am not high up there academically, but in my life you can see signs that there are other things I can do and do very well, then I would urge you as a parent to support me in the direction of my strength, which is why the CBC is also a good thing. I believe the competency-based curriculum is a good thing, because then it's going to expose us to many more people and many more examples and experiences of success than what we have known. Like you've said, in the US, there's a lot of people who are doing great as creatives. Some of the topmost earners are athletes and people in music and film and all that. It is because they realized a long time ago that we cannot all fit into the discussion of academic excellence, but we each have competencies, we each have abilities, we each have forms of intelligence which we can tap into and make a difference in our lives. So talent, for me, is key, and it's big as a career path.
All right.
Yes.
And now to my next question. As we talk about this age group of most of them known as the millennials, and of course they have been accused of many things, of being entitled, of being wayward in terms of how they behave even in the workplace. And the big question, even as we talk about talent and even stretching to the employment sector and even those who have employed themselves, what are the skills that these people need to amass and make sure they have certain skills to make sure that they are able to pull through and fit in their marketplace or their employment place, to make sure that they really fit in this particular place? What are the skills that they need to amass even as they get to move into the employable stage?
Wow, that's a good question. I love the fact that you've mentioned the issue of entitlement. It's a big issue with millennials, as you say. And even the Zoomers, the generation after the millennials, it's really a struggle. And from the onset, I want to say that no one owes you anything. If you're a millennial, if you're a Zoomer, no one owes you anything. You have to work as hard as everyone else to be able to sit at the table and to enjoy what is at the table, or better yet, to own the table. So to succeed in life, or to succeed in an employment position or even as an entrepreneur, beyond the technical skills and knowledge that you need, and it will be sad to say this, but you talk to many employers and you get to realize that even the technical skills that we are supposed to have honed by the time we are making an application for a job, we are given that job and we still have to be retrained and retooled for us to function. So the company ends up hiring you and spends more money to train you before you are ready to do what needs to be done. So maybe the first and most important thing that people need to do, young people need to do, is to pay attention when they're in class and to do what they need to do in the time that they are going through class, so that we start the conversation at a higher level. We are not dealing with technical skills. But by and large, technical skills are not the biggest issue. You realize that there are certain essential life and employability skills that we need to hone and understand, which will serve us well both in life and in our employment journey, or even in our entrepreneurial journey, or even when we are talking about tapping into talent. One of the things that I would mention very strongly would be the whole idea of resilience. You know, resilience is how are you able to bounce back from a disappointment? A lot of our young people today are struggling to deal with setbacks and disappointments. They are disillusioned, and their capacity to withstand adversity has greatly been reduced. Partly because of the way that we've grown up, and you know, we maybe to a certain extent our parents have not exposed us, or we've not known so much of that disappointment. So you go out into the world and you realize that the world is not as kind as your parents. And as a result of that, any little disappointment really beats you back, and you're like, I don't know how I'll be able to recover this. So resilience is just one of those things that we need to develop as an attitude. So it falls under a broad category of skills or competencies which are termed emotional intelligence. Yeah, if there is something that can really go a long way in helping us function and relate well with others, is for us to become emotionally intelligent. How well do we understand ourselves and our capacity to endure? How well do we understand the people around us that we are working with, and how to function with them? Very important. People need to talk about things like how to sell yourself. You know, I normally tell people that everyone is a salesman. They just don't know it. Because when you are approaching an organization to hire you, you are actually selling your skills. So how do you do that in a way that makes you hireable? So you don't need to be holding a pen in the street and telling people, I'm selling this at 100 bob, for you to be a salesperson. You sell your skills. Anytime you are having a discussion with people and you're trying to decide on a course of action, selling is taking place. Because let's say you're discussing where you want to go for a vacation or a weekend day out. One person is talking about Thika, another person is talking about Kajiado, another person is talking about Machakos. At the end of the day, one is going to win, and that person is the one who has succeeded in selling. So there's a lot of skills that we can talk about, but suffice it for me to mention that up to that point. Yes.
And I'm also glad you're talking about selling yourself as a person in any kind of sector. And as young people continue to sell themselves, we have seen also in a number of countries where in certain economies, people are working 2 to 3 jobs a day to be able to sustain themselves and support the economy of their country. Yeah. What are the opportunities here in the country that we can capture into, seeing that we are seeing such large unemployment rates in this particular country, and yet some people have 2 to 3 jobs? How can the young people position themselves to make sure that they can be able to understand that yes, there is this problem, but there are opportunities that we can look at? Some of the opportunities that you have actually mentioned, we can actually plug into and even do more than one thing to become better. What can the young people do now?
Number one is for us to look beyond the traditional approach to job searching. The traditional approach is for you to make applications to several places and hope that one of them will call you for an interview, and then you go and settle and start working. Today, the opportunities available online for anyone who wants to work and they really want to do it are enormous. Mm-hmm. And it's about the Swahili call it kujituma. It's about you being out there proactively seeking opportunities. Mm-hmm. You cannot seek for opportunities and fail to find them. But when you sit back and wait for opportunities to come to you, then it's not going to happen. Mm-hmm. One of the things that young people must be ready to do is to explore. The whole issue of being exploratory in terms of trying to find what works. Mm-hmm. At the young, tender age where you're maybe just coming from high school or straight from college, you need to be open to possibilities. Mm-hmm. And the only way to be open to possibilities is to seize chances and opportunities as they come your way. Mm-hmm. Find out where you can plug in and do something. Mm-hmm. It is in the process of exploring that you'll be able to land upon something that aligns well with your purpose, mm-hmm. aligns well with your plans, aligns well with your skills and your personality and all that. Mm-hmm. But you cannot sit back at home and say, I'm waiting for that one perfect job. Mm-hmm. Sometimes the perfect job has to be created, mm-hmm. and not necessarily given to you. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we need to be open to the idea that there are many opportunities out there. Mm-hmm. Young people have learned how to manage their time, mm-hmm. and that is why they're able to do 2 or 3 jobs and still be in school at the same time. So they are earning a living, they are paying for their own education, mm-hmm. and functioning and managing to do things as they are supposed to do, mm-hmm. simply because they have opened their eyes, they have seized the opportunities, yeah. and been able to make the most of what was available for them. Mm-hmm. Yes.
All right, now as we wind up, kindly I want you to point to your camera and talk about the Crossroads Virtual Summit and also the Unleash Hour, some of the programs that you're doing under your Optimize Institute, and how the young people can plug in to be able to be fruitful in this particular age and time.
Yeah, so we are planning a virtual summit for young people between the ages of 17 to 25 years old. And we have dubbed it the Crossroads Virtual Summit. What we all know about Crossroads is that when you come to a crossroads, you're at a point where you are trying to decide which is the best way forward for you to go. So what we'll be doing at the Crossroads Virtual Summit is we will be helping young people with the information that they need in order to make right decisions concerning the future path that they want to go to. For young people coming out of high school, people in college, and people who've just maybe graduated recently, either from college or university, one of the questions that they have is, what is next for me? So at Crossroads Virtual Summit, we will be highlighting opportunities available for you if you want to pursue the academic path more, opportunities available for you as an entrepreneur or an aspiring entrepreneur, opportunities available for you as a talented individual who is looking to use their talent as a path towards a career. Those are the things we'll be highlighting there. In the same discussion, we'll also be talking about life and employability skills, the competencies and skills that you need to have to give you a better shot at functioning and thriving in the marketplace. We are keen on helping young people position themselves strategically in the marketplace, and it is these skills that will go a long way in doing so. So I want to take this opportunity to invite every young person who is listening to this and every parent with a young child between the ages of 17 to 25. I want to encourage you to sign up for the Crossroads Virtual Summit, which is taking place on the 12th of June 2021 from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. It's a whole day of different speakers coming in to speak about opportunities, coming in to share about skills and competencies that you need to have. So please make a point of making sure that you're there. One of the other things that we also do at Optimize Institute is we have a program that runs weekly every Monday from 8 to 9. It is entitled Unleash Hour, where myself and other speakers, other people who are passionate about helping young people and equipping young people talk about these skills and these competencies and the things that we need to do to function well, either as talented people, as entrepreneurs, and just in life in general. And besides that, at Optimize Institute, we also have programs which we run. One of them, which we'll be introducing at the Crossroads Virtual Summit, is the Life and Employability Skills Program. I want to encourage you to seek us out and seek to understand more about it so that you can put your child into this program, or if you're listening to me and you're a young person, you can make arrangements to be part and parcel of this, just to position yourself for the marketplace of the 21st century. We also have other courses and coaching programs on optimal living, which we are also offering at Optimize Institute. And finally, because we've alluded to the issue of talent here so much, I want to say that we also have a talent management and development program for anybody who believes they are talented and they want to make a use of their talent as a career path. We have the right advice for you. We have the right training for you that will position you to function well in that particular place. And we just want to invite you to be a part of that. So you can reach out to us through +254 725 832 477. We are on Facebook as Optimize Institute. We are on LinkedIn as Optimize Institute Group. And we are on Instagram as well as Optimize Institute. And on the Google My Business is also Optimize Institute. So you can reach out to us in any of those ways, and we'll be able to help you with our training, coaching, and consulting programs. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Samuel Mwinamo Asena, for joining us tonight for this insightful conversation. We're hoping to have you back sometime soon as you continue to inform us, and especially our young people, on how to live their lives.
It was my pleasure. I'm really honored to have been here, and I look forward to us having more conversations for the benefit of young people.
All right, that is Samuel Mwinamo Asena, who is the MD at Optimize Institute, there to inform you on what you need to do as a young person, what as a parent you need to encourage your young person to do and to go out and become successful. We shall be having much on more of these conversations right here on KUTV Primetime News, where we help people to grow and become better even through the conversations that we have here.